in the overflow. It's time to start believing in the overflow. It's time to start experiencing the overflow. Can you just give God one more hand clap of praise for the overflow in the name of Jesus? So there's power in alignment. Y'all see what happened? Peter went from nothing to more than enough just by being aligned. I'm telling you, too many times our actions have been out of line with our beliefs and confessions. When that alignment is not there, then at that point we don't see the manifestation. But when alignment is there, we see more than enough and have overflow. Here's our next one here. While we're not seeing, first of all, we have the failure of alignment. Watch this next one though. Not only the failure of alignment, the second we have is the failure of acknowledgement. The failure of acknowledgement. What's acknowledge mean? Acknowledge simply means acceptance of the truth. I'm accepting the truth. Well, what happens? As a believer, there are some truths that God has given us as believers that we've not always accepted. Took us a while to know we were righteous. Amen. Took us a while to know that we were redeemed. Took us a while to realize that our behavior does not determine our acceptance to God, but our belief determines our acceptance to God. Now look what happens. So right here, now, this is when Jesus cast out the demon and everything. So here's your E right here. Read this with me, please, and then you get this from Mark 1:27 amplified. Read this, please. Even to the unclean spirits, he gives orders with what? With what? With what? Authority, and they obey him. Even to the unclean spirits, even to the demons, one scripture says, he gives orders based on the authority that he has. And the demons, unclean spirits, obey him. This whole idea we're talking about now about this acknowledgement, fear of acknowledgement. Look what happens here. So, believers have authority in his name. The believers, there's authority of the believer. Now look what happened. What's authority again? Delegated power, which is strength, might, and ability. Now what are we talking about here? Now let's be clear about this. How the demons obeyed him based on what? Is what? Authority. Jesus had authority over unclean spirits that they had to obey him. So now what happens now? So before we make my point here, let's suppose, for example, and parents, you know this, if you had $50 in your pocket and your child said they want 20, can you give them 20? No. I said, can you? I didn't say, should you? He got to go for himself, got to get a job. So can you give him 20? Yes. So you can give what you have, right? Can't give what you don't have. So if you have it, you can give it. And if they get it, it's the same thing you have. If it's $20 in your pocket, it's $20 in their pocket. Isn't that right? Y'all with me there? I ain't got to the deep part yet. If it's $20, if you open it and see 20, now if you got a $20 bill with your child's picture on it, don't use that one. But if on a $20 bill, you got 20, you can give it to them. Now look what happens. So Jesus got the unclean spirits obeyed him because of what? His authority. All right, keep reading now. Look what happened. Read it from Luke 10:19 with me, NIV. Read this together. This is Jesus, and then you believers, okay? I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome some of the power, a portion of the power. All the power of the enemy, nothing will harm you. So Jesus has authority. And what did he do with that authority? Gave it to who? Believers. Who's us? Let me tell you this is Shalom. If believers, you're not partial when you don't have authority. We gave it to believers to be able to do what? Trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. So it's time to do then do what? Embrace our kingdom authority. How many of you know you got some authority now? Jesus has the authority. He says, I'm giving you the same authority I have, I'm giving to you, believer. So it's time for us to embrace it. Now what happens is, so how do we use this authority? In other words, if you now have it, how do you use it? Read this with me, please. Say, not stray, from what the word states. Say it again with me. Say, not stray, from what the word states. So I got to, when I start speaking the word, that's how I'm using the authority that Jesus gave. How many know you got authority now? How many of you know you got authority from the Lord? All right. So now, give God a hand of praise for the authority that we have as believers. So how do we use it? We say what God said with the word, was stated in the word, and we don't stray. In other words, I'm not going to go over here and try to do something spiritual, talking about hocus pocus. I gotta say what the word says. Now what happens? Believers have authority. I'm going to give you three things very quickly. Believers have authority, first of all, over what? Sickness. Matthew 18, 16 to 17. It says, when the evil was come, they brought about folk that were sick, and he healed them all. Now what happened? So if Jesus had authority to heal the sick, where's that authority now? Where is it? Okay. Now, I want you to look at this. What does rebuke mean? Read this with me. Rebuke means to do what? Reprimand severely, reject, and rule. Now, read this with me now. Read it. Now, this is how we deal with sickness. So, how are we going to deal with it? Let's say it together. God, I thank you for the authority you have given me. And now, based on Matthew 8:16, I rebuke, I reject, I reprimand severely sickness in Jesus' name and receive healing. If anybody ready to walk in your healing, give God one more hand of praise in Jesus' name. Believers have authority over sickness. Watch the next one now. Over what? Now here's what happens. All I got to do is find out what Jesus had authority over. And then as a believer, walk in that same authority. Now I'm telling you right now, the natural mind that does not make sense, the spiritual mind, it makes perfect sense. Since Jesus has authority, and he gave me the authority, I will see the same results that Jesus saw. Amen, somebody. If Jesus had used his authority, and now I have the same authority, and you have the same authority, we ought to be seeing some results over storms. Right here in Matthew 8, 26 and 27. You remember this point? The winds came up. Jesus says, peace be still. King James, the version says, what manner of man is this, that even the winds and the waves obey his will? Well, what happens right here? So Jesus had authority to speak to the storms. Amen? Amen. Where's the authority? With us. What rebuke means to reject. Now read this together. God, I thank you for the authority you have given me, and now based on Matthew 8:26, I rebuke, I reject that storm in Jesus' name and receive calm weather. Now y'all got to know, here in Greensboro, North Carolina, in the year of our Lord, 2019, we got to know how wonderful God is. Anybody remember last year, Florence? The eye of Florence was supposed to come right over Greensboro. And some folks, some believers got together and said, in the name of Jesus, you cannot come here. In the name of Jesus. And we started praying this prayer and look at the path of the storm. It was supposed to go straight through Greensboro and went all out the way. Because why? We stood on our authority. Now somebody say, well, why y'all send the storm to us? All right, that's a whole different sermon. But right now, I got to make sure we start believing. Since Jesus has his, every time I see Jesus work a miracle with his authority, and now I have the authority, and now I'm supposed to be working too. Here's the next one. First of all, we have authority over what? Then, watch this one now. What's this one? Strongholds. To liberate saints and sinners. Stronghold. I want to work with this for a moment. Read this down. I just love this definition right because it's so true. So first of all, a stronghold is Satan's secret and sometimes most powerful weapon. Look what it says right here. Let's read this together. A stronghold is a what? Mindset. The mind is set incorrectly. Keep going. Impregnated. What does that mean? Yeah. A mind that has inside of it hopelessness. Keep going. That forces us to accept as unchangeable situations that we know are contrary to God's will. A mindset, a stronghold is, I know it's God's will for me to prosper, but now I don't see prosperity, and I'm going to accept not prospering as unchangeable. A mindset, I know God has me raised, but I've been down so long, I accept I'm always down. So it's knowing what God's will is and saying that under no circumstances is that going to change. So now what happens? We have authority over the stronghold to set free sinners and saints. Now, read this, please. Strongholds of the matter. What is it? A stronghold is anything that resists the will of God from being done on earth as it is in heaven. Amen. So what happened? Let's read this together. 2 Corinthians 10:4. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God. Come on now. For the pulling down of strongholds. How do we do this now? Read this with me. God, I thank you for the authority you have given me. And now, based on 2 Corinthians 10:4, I pull down strongholds that keep people bound in Jesus' name and receive freedom. Can you just give God a hand clap of praise for the authority to pull down strongholds? So the last one we have, failure of what? Blindness, failure of what? Watch the last one right here, the last one. Failure of acquirement. Acquirement. I want to get that one. Acquirement. That acquirement means to obtain something. When you acquire something, you obtain something. You achieve something. You accomplish something. What God gave us what? So we got to do what? Obtain it. What did God give us? Salvation. We got to do what? Obtain it. Now read this with me together. God has given us, keep going, eyes, not to judge others, but to look beyond situations. He gave us what? Mouth, not to criticize, but to speak for the truth. He gave us what? Hands, not to punish, but to give a helping hand. He gave us what? Ears. Not to be insensitive. Girl, what's wrong with you? You got to come up out of that. But to listen and aid those in pain. He gave us what? Everything God gave us has its purpose. Use them for the greater glory of the Lord. If you agree with that, please join me in giving God one more hand. So he gave us these. Now look what happens. Read verse 36. This is our last one here. Simon Peter and those who were with him followed him, pursuing him eagerly and hunting him out. Here's your E right here, your last E. Eagerly pursuing him. Eagerly pursuing him. That as a believer who is serious about yielding, serious about seeing more and greater manifestation, we are eagerly pursuing him. I want to just work with this for just a minute. So what does pursue mean? It means to catch up with in order to see that. I gave you all the example before, months ago, that it's been 30 years now, or even longer, that when Brother Gary and Sister Paula were working at the same company, there was a